And the first question we ask is really, why bother? Why focus on listening to the voice of the customer? We've already talked about this a bit, and I think honestly the right answer to this question is it depends. I always think of this fable. It's an Indian fable about the Himalayan musk deer. And as the fable goes, there's a deer that spends its entire life sort of scuttling through the forest in search of this elusive scent, the musk scent, when in fact the scent is secreted by one of its own glands. So, very often the answer lies within, and it's hard to come up with sort of a universal wisdom for why listen to the voice of the customer. It depends to a large extent on what you're trying to accomplish. So the reasons, I find really vary dramatically depending on the needs of the different functions within the organization. So for the customer service department, for example, listening to the voice of the customer means improving performance in terms of speed of problem resolution. For marketing, it's about understanding what messages will resonate in the marketplace, about how to improve the customer experience. For product management, social intelligence, or listening to the voice of the customer, it really serves as the basis for developing and testing and refining new products and services. And of course, continuous innovation is really the only sustainable competitive advantage that any company has today. For market research, it means identifying consumer trends, unmet wants and needs, looking at competitive activity. It also means, by the way, protecting brand reputation by using social data as an early warning system. So, it's not surprising as we look at this, what came up as the most compelling reason to implement that it should be generate customer insights. It's kind of a generic catch-all answer, and sure, everyone wants insights, but what's the value of an insight? It's really really depends on what you do with it. Someone once said that an insight is nothing more than a penetrating view of the obvious, which I thought was kind of funny. But what you're looking for obviously are those non-obvious insights. Now, when we look at value drivers, and this actually comes from two separate benchmark reports that we published, one on customer feedback management and one on social intelligence, which is what again I view as sort of the next generation of social media monitoring and analysis. So, very quickly, as we go through our research findings, what we find, interestingly enough, for customer feedback management is that the best way to really maximize the value of an investment in customer feedback management is to instill this organizational focus on listening to the voice of the customer. So, to some extent, I think it is a change management initiative. It's kind of Procter and Gamble, as Procter and Gamble puts it, the customer is the boss, and it's sort of incumbent on organizations to internalize that idea and to drive cooperation across all the different functional silos and really empower front end employees to capture and focus on customer data. So derive actionable insights from customer feedback. That's key, obviously. You want to be able to identify patterns and make sense of it. Disseminate insights is also a recurring theme, and that's an essential part of a company's feedback strategy. It's to set up the channels by which the findings are regularly communicated to all the different functions that are empowered to act upon them. And when we look at the social intelligence benchmark report, things that came up as top value drivers, identify and segment consumers engaged in online conversations about the brand. And that's key. You want to get to some level of granularity. You really want to know, okay, who are the people that are saying these things, by age, by gender, by geography. If appropriate, you want to try to get to various psychographic and behavioral attributes. And today, of course, it is possible to create these social profiles and to really segment customers based on all kinds of factors around even customer satisfaction and influence. So, identifying brand advocates and influencers.